hand over to you, and you can start the meeting.
Okay. Then thank you very much, Chris, for the opportunity to be with you this afternoon. The aim of this event is that we embarked a few months ago on a roadshow in order to present NITheCS to all universities in the country. Yeah. And I think we've covered almost 2/3, so we still have a few to go, but slowly but steadily we will get there. Yeah, and please allow me to share the screen quickly so that I can. Here we go. I prepared a few. The screen is coming. A few slides, just to. Some of you might be aware of NITheP, that was and is still the National Institute for Theoretical Physics. And at the beginning of this year, the minister, Bladen Simande, gave us the green light to start the conversion from NITheP to NITheCS. Yeah, and what I want to do in the next half an hour or so, just give you a little bit of an overview, starting from a historical perspective, because maybe not all of you, in particular, those of you that are not theoretical physics, might not be familiar with what NITheP was, yeah, and the background that led to the decision to convert it into a bigger, more important and substantial institute. Sorry, now what doesn't it? Okay, so let me start, and please, as was said, interrupt me at any time. Yeah, you can ask questions at any moment. Yeah? So let me start by reviewing briefly the old NITheP. Yeah, and NITheP was born in 2004. Yeah. And it was essentially the product of the review of physics in South Africa. That took place in 2004, commissioned by DSI, NRF, and SAIP. And the international committee that reviewed the status of physics in South Africa at the time, one of the recommendations that they made was to set up some institute, some support on a national level for theoretical physics. And so in 2008, after a few years, NITheP was eventually born as the home for theoretical physics in South Africa. Yeah, NITheP from the very beginning had a node structure, yeah, with the main contractual node at University of Stellenbosch and two further nodes, one at UKZN, where I'm at the moment. Yeah, although at the moment I'm at home, but in principle I'm at UKZN. Yeah, and one at WITS. Yeah. And NITheP, sorry, okay, maybe a side story. Yeah, NITheP, the name says National Institute, yeah, but for all practical purposes, from the almost very beginning, after a year or so, NRF decided to administer NITheP as a center of excellence. Yeah? And that was a little bit the beginning of the problem that NITheP faced a few years ago, when we reached sort of the age where center of excellence start dying. Yeah? Because, you know, center of excellence live 3 times 5 years maximally, and then the sunset clause starts, and so on and so forth. But NITheP was quite successful, yeah? Because over its existence, and these are data up to the end of 2020. Yeah? It published, let's say, 800 publications. We graduated a couple of hundred masters and PhD students. We had a network of more than 70 associates scattered across the country. And in most rankings of physical institutes in Africa, we were always among the top 3. Yeah. Okay, the 3 nodes I mentioned before. Yeah? So it was quite a successful institute. And one of the things that, one of our secret weapons was that we were always able to set up a bursary program. Yeah? And this is the distribution of bursary holders these years. So we have bursary holders at 10 universities, scattered across the country, and you see UP also has one. Yeah, and I showed here this graph of the bursary. Every year we had roughly around 30 scholarship holders. Yeah. In 2019, we faced our little crisis because of these issues with the end of Center of Excellence and funding, so we couldn't offer as many as usually. And this year as well, we're a little bit underperforming, but this is mainly due to the fact that NRF changed the rules of how they allocate bursaries. Yeah? And it was difficult for students. I think it was a new experience for everybody, so we didn't get as many bursary holders as we wanted. But in the last few days or so, we in contact with NRF, they told us that they have a little bit of a surplus of students that deserve a bursary and that didn't get it. And so they asked us if we could get in touch with them and maybe offer a bursary to some more students. So maybe this last picture of 2021 will change to the better very soon. Yeah. This is the, in South Africa, demographics is always very important. And you see that it's not yet a perfect reflection of the country, or the balance between male and female bursary holders is also not yet optimal, but we are getting there. Yeah? Considering how it was not so many years ago, it's a strong improvement. But of course, we're still working on making it even better. Another very successful program of NITheP that NITheCS has also carried over, yeah, is the Internship Program. Yeah, and this is a program aimed at honor students, yeah, who do then their honors research program under the supervision of some NITheP associate. Yeah, and in the past it was always, we covered the cost of visiting. For the student to visit the supervisor for a couple of weeks or a month or so. The last 2 years, we did it online because of the obvious reasons, and it was still a big success. And this is really our secret weapon, because most of the students become the master student and become PhD student, and that's how we keep our pipeline of students alive. Yeah. Last year, I became the interim director of NITheCS on the 1st of April last year. And it was not an April's Fool joke, it was the reality. And that was also almost 1 week into the hard lockdown. Yeah? So we had very quickly to move all our activities online. Yeah? So every Monday we have a colloquium, we have webinars. This afternoon, your colleague Rocco gave us a webinar. Yeah. And every month we have a mini school, a kind of a training event aimed at masters, honors, PhD students on topic of relevance. And you see that these are the viewers of last year. Yeah? So it's we reached quite a substantial number of participants that we would not have been able to reach with our normal traditional in-person events. Yeah? All the lectures, or almost all the lectures, yeah, we record. Some speakers prefer not to be recorded, and of course we respect it. And we have now a NITheCS YouTube channel with has already close to reaching 30,000 viewers and 1,000 subscribers. So soon we will also be able to make some money out of it, maybe. Yeah. So it's very interesting. We've also relaunched the NITheCS website, the NITheP website. So if you go to the old NITheP website, you will forward it to the new NITheCS website. And we are trying very hard to make it into a platform that is useful for everybody doing something theoretical and computational in the country. Yeah, we want to be somehow to grow into the in the point on the web where you go to find out whether seminars, webinars, schools, or other opportunities in the fields that NITheCS covers. Sorry. Last year, we started playing with some of the concepts and tools that the roadmap for NITheCS foresees. and we launched research programs. Yeah, we started supporting research programs, and what came out of the bottom-up approach was essentially a computational approaches to condensed matter or material science. Yeah? Then a theoretical approach to astrophysics. We're supporting, because of the reality in which we live at the moment, a theoretical modeling program for genomic contact tracing that is really very interesting, and almost obligatory machine learning meets theoretical physics. Yeah. And then we have a big data for nuclear physics program. And we also started what was last year called a South African Theory School. And this was essentially a test balloon for what is to come now with NITheCS. And it was a successful test. We also started, because money comes at a premium, started also to apply for research grant as NITheCS. Yeah, and we were already successful in this with a program on screening, pool testing for COVID detection. Yeah, but that this is another talk. It's just the important thing that also as NITheCS we are actively looking for funding, because we can't rely only upon funding of government anymore. Yeah. So, and now the new NITheCS. Yeah. As I said at the beginning, since March or so this year, we are allowed to use officially the name NITheCS, although we are still in the process of setting up all the legal aspects of the new entity. Yeah. For legally, NITheP is still alive, but yes, I encourage us to use now only NITheCS, so that the name comes out and becomes a brand that has many followers. So, as I mentioned at the very beginning, when it was clear that NITheP would be hit by the sunset clause of Center of Excellence because of the successes of NITheP, DSI regarded it probably as a waste to lose this institute. Yeah. And so after a few stakeholder workshops, an expert working group was appointed to prepare a document to assess if in the country there is a kind of a scientific case to support something like NITheCS. Yeah. So that hurdle was passed, and then the expert working group and I assisted a little bit, were given the task to formulate a roadmap for the implementation and the transition from NITheP to NITheCS. Yeah? And these were the people, sorry, I've forgotten to mention that there was also a task team involved, mainly composed, just for you to know, of the management of NITheP, yeah, and some representative of DST when we started, DSI now, Dr. Adams and Dr. Moodley, yeah, and Dr. Happy Sitole was also involved, because now NITheCS has computational in its name, and the relationship with the CHPC is, of course, an important one. These are the members of the expert working group. I won't list the names individually, but essentially there were two representatives of each of the disciplines that end up being part of NITheCS, and Professor Igle Gledhill coordinated this expert working group and facilitated the production of the document. Yeah, and these are the two documents that were produced. First, the scientific case for NITheCS, and then the roadmap for the transition. And both documents you can find on the NITheCS website, or if you let us know, we can happily email them to you. Yeah, the PDF version. There are also a few hard copies of the roadmap. So in case someone wants a hard copy, please let us know as well. Yeah? So, and these are just the highlights of the roadmap. Yeah, I won't read the vision and mission. You can read them while I talk. But the very important thing that distinguishes a little bit NITheP from NITheCS is that the pillars of NITheCS, yeah, are not only research and training, which are sort of obvious, yeah, on equal footing, we want to have now also engagement, and engagement means engagement with all possible stakeholders, yeah, from the learners in high school that don't know what they want to study, yeah, to their parents, to government, industry, the local government, municipalities, and so on and so forth, and also Africa, yeah. Because NITheCS is born as an institute that is fully aware of being based in South Africa first, but then also on the African continent, and we want really to open up also to other academics in starting from our neighboring countries and to other African countries as well. So this is just in a nutshell, yeah, the vision, mission, and the character that the institute should have. Yeah, yeah. Interesting for you are of course the disciplines involved in NITheCS. Yeah, and here on the left is the graphical representation from the roadmap. Yeah. And on the right is the one that a little bit less professional that I prefer. Yeah. So we have originally in NITheP we had just theoretical physics and a little bit of astronomy and astrophysics, because of course the boundary is not really hard. Yeah. But now astronomy and astrophysics are integral part of NITheCS. And then there are other basic sciences, yeah, mathematics, statistics, data science, yeah. And then some very interesting, maybe more applied concept, all the quantitative and computational aspects of finance, of biology, and of climate change modeling and Earth systems modeling. Yeah. So these are the 8 disciplines that are now found now a new home in NITheCS. Yeah? And the reason why I prefer this representation on the right, although it's still a little bit out of focus for some reason, is that the challenge of setting up such an institute as NITheCS with 8 at the beginning disjoint disciplines, is to bring them together and do something of relevance together. So we really need to invest a lot of time in finding some common ground between the disciplines, so that the sum of the parts become so that the total becomes more than the sum of the parts. And these roadshows are part of this effort of reaching out to people and start letting them interact. Of course, NITheCS doesn't operate in a vacuum. Yeah, there are already many other centers and institutions dedicated to some of the disciplines and aspects of NITheCS, and we are in the process of reaching out to all of them and establish a way that we can find the optimal way to develop synergies, because we don't want to be in competition with any one of them. Yeah, we just want to increase the opportunity. Yeah, and the CHPC I put here in the center mainly because of the computational that now we have in NITheCS and in the CHPC. Yeah, and of course, NITheCS doesn't have the ambition to develop, to become a competitor to the CHPC. Yeah, we will just use the CHPC as the hardware provider. Yeah, NITheCS is mainly the software, if you want to make that distinction. Yeah. Okay, the roadmap. So it's a slight change of topic. Yeah, the roadmap foresees this governance structure for NITheCS, yeah, which not particularly surprising, yeah, like most institutions, yeah, and we are slowly setting it up, yeah. At the moment, we have an interim kind of management, yeah. We have an interim steering committee in place, yeah. We are setting up an international scientific advisory board, and that will probably be finalized by the next meeting of the interim steering committee, sometimes in November. We are recruiting a network of associates. I will speak about that just now. We are in the process of establishing the nodes for NITheCS. The call for the establishment of nodes was already published, and we are just now processing it. Same with the focus areas. You know, focus areas are a little bit the tool to keep the glue that should bring the 8 disciplines together, yeah, and work together to address the great challenges that we are facing. Yeah. Okay, this is maybe a little bit of a subset of the governance structure that maybe it's a little bit boring. Yeah. Okay. One thing that we started doing, yeah, with the interim management committee, because we've been operating online, yeah, is that we are shaping NITheCS a little bit like an internet-like institution, yeah, because you know, in the code there is Nelly and Rene. Rene is based in Stellenbosch. Nelly is based in Durban. And but we, since 1.5 years, we never met in person. Yeah, so everything we do is online. So we set up some really nice online tools that allows us to work remotely in a very efficient way. Yeah, and you know, if you want to learn some of these tricks of the trades, we're very happy to share ideas with you. And we are very happy to learn from you if you have better strategies to keep complex operations lean. Yeah, this is are the stages of the that you see on this slide, the stages of the implementation plan. So we are essentially somewhere between the transition and the foundational phase, yeah, because NITheP is still in operation legally, yeah, and the contract of NITheP between NITheP and NRF DSI expires in March next year. So that is our hard deadline. Yeah, by then we need to have all the structures of NITheCS in place. Yeah. So now we are here where we are developing now the call for nodes. The deadline just expired, and soon we will move to the next phase. Same with the focus area, so that by March next year we will have the first nodes and the focus areas and everything up and running. Yeah. So these are the you see, these are the milestones from the implementation plan in a little bit simplified manner. Yeah. And originally the roadmap foresaw that NITheCS start in 2023, yeah, because somehow along the way it was forgotten that the contract between NITheP and NRF expires in March 2022, yeah. So this year, when we were officially given the go ahead, we had to condense the whole implementation plan in 1 year, and now we are sorting out. By the next steering committee meeting, which will be in November, we will hope that most of this aspect will be ticked off. Yeah, and here, sorry, here I made a typo. This is not the director takes up function. This is the call for the director will be published soon, and hopefully by the end of the year, that procedure to recruit a permanent director for NITheCS will be accomplished as well. Yeah, and it looks like we are on track, and we should manage to do with a little bit of stress, we will manage. And thanks to the hard work of Nelly, Rene, and Farah, we will manage to accomplish this goal. Yeah. Okay, this is another, sorry, this is the thick black line is not today. This is a slide that I used for the past steering committee meeting. So now we are here. Yeah, and I think we are still more or less on track. Today is part of our roadshow, and you see these are some of the institutions that we already visited. I told you that the plan is to present at all university and most of the other centers and institutes that promote the disciplines of NITheP, so that everybody in the country is really aware of what we are doing. Yeah. At the also at the date of the last year, probably 2 months ago, this is a snapshot of where we were 2 months ago. Yeah, we had already 123 associates. Yeah, I wrote here 150 because this was our internal aim for the end of this year. Yeah, and you know, we had, I told you, we had in NITheP around 70 associates. Yeah? And if we reach 150, more than half of the NITheCS associates won't be theoretical physicists anymore. Yeah? And that is, I regard it as a crucial step, because it will mean that the character of NITheP won't be there anymore. Yeah? Because most people in NITheCS won't come from a theoretical physics background anymore. Yeah? And I think we are really on track, because every day we receive more. After every roadshow, we recruit a lot of associates, so that I'm not worried that we won't reach this goal. We might even exceed it by a large number. This is how the associates are distributed in the country. Yeah, you see, there are big clusters in Gauteng, in KwaZulu-Natal, and in the Western Cape, and emerging clusters scattered in other provinces. Yeah, so that we will. And there is one province where we don't have any associates, so we are working hard to change that. Yeah, we will hopefully achieve that as well. Here another view, just to show you that slowly NITheCS is diffusing in all institutions. Yeah, we are present at almost all traditional university, almost all comprehensive university, and at half of the University of Technology. Yeah, and we are also already represented at the majority of HDIs. Yeah, and since this looks like a little bit of a puzzle, yeah, these are the universities where we are not yet represented. Yeah, so they're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 universities where we don't have associates, and we will try to change it, of course, as we go. Yeah. Important, probably for this discussion, is what is the role of the associates. The associates are crucial, yeah, because they are the ones who do the research, who do the training, do the engagement, and address the challenges of academia and society. Yeah. As NITheCS, we have a few associate categories. Yeah, our standard category is the individual associate, but we have already introduced, and NITheP had it as well, a junior associate category, and I will explain just now where the difference lies. But we also have a network of institutional associates. Yeah, for instance, we are setting up an LOU or MOU at the moment with SKA, and maybe thanks to Sergey, we may be able to set up one with Tubna. Yeah, and we have also strategic associates. Yeah? These are individuals that maybe are not working or doing research in one of the 8 disciplines, but have the potential to assist us to accomplish certain goals. Yeah? So we have different levels of associateship. Yeah. So how do you become an associate? Yeah. So the minimum requirement, and again I stress, we try very hard to keep the bureaucracy to a minimum, yeah, because we know that everybody is very busy, and we don't want to add further burdens. Yeah, so the minimum requirement is that you have a PhD in one of the 8 disciplines or a related field. We would like to see your CV with the list of publication, just to make sure that you are active in the field. We would like you maybe to send us a short motivation saying why you think that you are aligned with what NITheCS is doing, and we would like you, to be active at a university in South Africa or some research facility in South Africa. Yeah, and then you can just send an email either to Rene directly, or we have also an email address, info@NITheCS, that you can also use. So this is our standard associate category, and once we have your CV, we share it with people in the relative disciplines. They give us the go ahead, and then we send you a nice letter that you are an associate of NITheCS. So I mentioned the category of junior associates. In the past, with NITheP, yeah, the junior associate category was here on the left, was exclusively for staff members at the university in South Africa that didn't have yet a PhD. Yeah, And then we created this category of junior associates, and with the aim of assisting them and maybe put them in touch with a mentor so that they complete a PhD and can progress in their career. Yeah? When we started these roadshows, yeah, in a few presentations, there were comments made that that we are neglecting another important category of people. Yeah, and these are the postdocs. Yeah, people that have a PhD. But maybe don't have a proper job. Yeah, so that we thought that in the interim NITheCS management, we thought that that is a sensible thing to do, because also postdocs need some assistance to get into a permanent position, into permanent faculty position. So that in a nutshell, the junior category is you're a staff member and don't have a PhD, or you have a PhD and you don't have you're not a staff member. So this is the junior category. And the aim is, of course, to get the junior associate as quickly as possible into the standard associate category. Yeah. So it's not yeah. Sorry, what happens here? Okay. Yeah. So the benefits for the associates, because it's not just a title, it comes with some benefits. Yeah, so NITheCS has many research programs and support for various activities, for workshop. I mean, maybe not in times of COVID, but in the past, we were always supported workshops, we supported travels and travel grants and so on and so forth. Yeah. Now we have this instrument of the focus areas, yeah, where we want to bring together associates across university, across disciplines to work on some important challenges that maybe they couldn't solve individually. Yeah. And we have dedicated calls for these kinds of activities. We have a bursary program, and the idea is, of course, that the NITheCS bursary holders need to be supervised by a NITheCS associate. Yeah, so it's also a tool to increase access to bursaries, and in the current climate, it's probably really welcome. Yeah, but also not to neglect is the fact that as NITheCS, we offer you to be part of a network of interested people with similar interests, and that's why we are working hard to make the website a real platform where people can find each other. Yeah, and we're organizing also. We started organizing with quite some success, and I encourage you to attend them in future. Social events virtually, yeah, so that people can have an opportunity to chat and share ideas in a less formal, less Zoom-like environment. Yeah, for instance, on Monday, after the colloquium, we also had one of such events, and it was really very nice. Recently, we signed a letter of understanding, and we are in the process of signing the legally binding MOU with ICTP. And this is really important because DSI asked us to do it directly between NITheCS and ICTP. Yeah? In the past, there was an MOU between ICTP and NRF. Yeah? And it seems that DSI was not very happy because the funding that they allocated to that MOU was never really spent. Yeah, so now those funds will come directly to NITheCS, and we will be in charge of sending student postdoc staff to ICTP, and of course ICTP will be able to come and visit us as well, as soon as all the travel regulations permitted, but hopefully next year it will be the case. Okay, a month ago or so we had the first publication with NITheCS, yeah, and we encourage now all associates to publish under the NITheCS name, because one of our KPIs that we need to report to every year to DSI. They want to know how many publications we have produced, and that's why we need now to switch from NITheP to NITheCS. But of course, NITheCS doesn't access any of the publication funding from the Department of Higher Education. Those go straight to the original, to the primary institution of the associate. We don't tap into that funding. Okay, that's it. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you have lots of questions. Yeah, and maybe I stop my sharing my screen now. Please.
Francesco, can I maybe just ask while we're waiting for questions, if there's anybody here that's not yet an associate or not yet on our mailing list, please just let us know. Just pop us a mail at info@NITheCS. Then we'd love to add you to our mailing list. So, you know, definitely, please, we want you to feel welcome to please join our community, so that we can try and support as much as possible, you know, your students, your faculty. Please welcome.
And you know, yeah, please.
I was associate in previous version of that institution. Is it automatically that I become associate in the new institution, or should I apply again?
No, we start when we were given the green light for NITheCS. The first thing that we did was to transfer the NITheP associates to become NITheCS associate. Yeah, and we asked all of them. You probably have somewhere hidden in your inbox an email in which we just asked you to please send us a recent version of your CV. Yeah. And this mainly because, you know, at the moment everything is interims, yeah. But at some stage there will be a permanent director, and might not necessarily be me. Yeah? And we want to leave to the permanent management a decently clean documentation on who they have on board. Yeah. So please, at the first opportunity, just drop us an email with your recent CV, and you're fine. So we count you already as a NITheCS associate. Yeah.
And a second question, among the minimum requirements, I saw the item that people must be members or staff members of South African institution. Yeah. And if we speak about members from foreign countries, for example, from Dubna,
yes,
well, they cannot be obviously staff members of South African institutions, and so they cannot be associates individually. They can only be members of the organization. If so, please make clear.
Sergey, sorry, you know, in the slides, maybe I simplified a little bit. As long as you have an affiliation with a South African university, if you're, I don't know, maybe in your case, you're an honorary professor or something like that, then we regard you as a fully fledged South African NITheCS associate. Yeah. And we have other examples. For instance,
I'm speaking about my colleagues from
okay. Yeah, no, your colleagues, we could make them.
Can I invite them? Because you see, South Africa now is associate member of the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research. So South Africans can participate in the activities of the Institute in Dubna. And I expect that vice versa, it should be possible for Dubna people to participate in activities in South Africa.
We can easily make them strategic associates or something like that without any problem. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And you know, and you could because you have the South African affiliation, you could ask us for funding to invite them to come. Yeah, that would be the only, you know, at some stage we need to draw a line. Yeah. And for instance, the strategic associates, we wouldn't allow them to apply directly for funding without being connected in some research program with some local associates. Yeah. You know, otherwise, you know, we end up dissipating our monies overseas and nothing stays in South Africa. Yeah?
It's understandable. Yes.
But we could easily make them strategic associates. That's not a problem. Yeah. No, in fact, we're already thinking of how do we deal with strategic associates in Africa. Yeah, because now Africa is one of our pillars. Yeah. So maybe we will introduce a category of international associates or something like that. But those are things that, you know, we need to bounce off the steering committee and see that they are happy with that. Yeah? But we are fully aware of that, and we want to grow internationally. So at the moment, we don't have the category international associate. We can make them only strategic associate. But I think at some stage we should have one. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergey. I see Nico raised the hand. Please, you're most welcome. Just ask.
I appreciate it. So I'm from mechanical engineering at the University of Pretoria and associated with the South African Association for Theoretical and Applied Mechanics. So we do a lot of computational work on the technical side, like finding elements, smooth particle hydrodynamics, based on sort of CPU versus GPU computations. To what extent is that sort of supported in the NITheCS? So you're open to that kind of more classical kind of computational work?
Yeah, you know, I'm a quantum guy, but I don't hate classical guys. Yeah, no, of course. You know, as long as it's computational and theoretical, it's fine. You know, I already in previous roadshow, I was already faced a few times with the criticism, why don't you have computational chemistry? Yeah. And the answer is, I don't know. Yeah, because, you know, that's what emerged from this roadmap document. But those are things that we will, you know, we are just starting. Yeah, and at some stage we will have to introduce officially things like computational chemistry as well, or computational mechanics and things like that. Yeah, you know, I think at the beginning the SI agreed on the principle of saving NITheP by making it bigger. Yeah, but maybe they didn't want to make it too big at the beginning. Yeah, but you know, we already made a few associates that are essentially computational chemists. Yeah, but you know, where do you draw the line between computational chemists and computational physicists? Yeah, it's you know, they use the same Schrödinger package. Yeah, so it's very difficult to exclude. But you know, at some stage we will let us first settle the framework that we need to implement now, and then we'll make it bigger. Yeah, you know, the challenge is also that you know, we are now taking care of 8 disciplines. Yeah, but DSI didn't give us 8 times the funding that NITheP had. Yeah. It's not even a factor 2 at the moment. Yeah, and you know, I'm working very hard now to convince them that, you know, if we want to make everybody happy in NITheCS, yeah, they need to give us more funding, because otherwise, you know, it doesn't work out. Yeah, you know. You know, I made the joke before, and maybe one day I will be fired for that. Yeah, you know, if you need to make academics happy, yeah, you need to think like if you want to make cats happy. Yeah, and the only way to make cats happy, because, you know, academics are a little bit like cats. Yeah, you need to feed them, and the feeding for academics is funding. Yeah, so if you don't give them funding, you won't make them happy. Yeah. So that you know, but it's a slow process. We will work on DSI, and also we try already to look into external sources of funding. Yeah, and maybe we will be successful. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Because there's sort of maybe two legs. The one is funding leg, but the other one is even just access to the sort of, let's say, the workshops and stuff.
Yes, of course. But you know, now we have 8 disciplines. Yeah, let's say if with NITheP we were able to support 10 workshops. Yeah, at the moment we are not able to support 80 workshops. Yeah, because we don't have the funding. Yeah, so we can make everybody a little bit happy, but we definitely need to work hard to make the budget bigger. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, Nico, when you're done, Francisco, if Nico is done, please tell about the carpentries talk tomorrow. Please just market that event when you're done.
Okay, I will do it. I see Chris raise the hand, but please just interrupt me, Chris. Just ask.
No problem.
We don't want to keep it too formal. Yeah.
I just want to ask, perhaps I'm sure the people who know data science, who it applies to, knows what it is, but I'm also wearing a bit of a hat that I will perhaps speak to people who did not attend this talk. And can you just capture for me, because it's a very wide term, but what specifically in the data science, which activities are you looking for in that?
That's a very valid question. Yeah, as long as the activity in data science is theoretical and computational, it's fine. Yeah, I had those questions from people working in computer science departments. Can I become an associate? And it depends what they do. If someone in a computer science department builds computers, then that's not in the mandate of NITheCS. Then that person should get in touch with the CHPC. Yeah. So as long as the activity is theoretical and computational, if they do machine learning, if they do data analysis, if they do whatever, as long as it's theoretical and computational, we welcome. The moment it becomes hardware, then we won't be able to support them, because that's not in our mandate. But you address a very crucial question. The name, as you see behind me, it's theoretical and computational science. And so far, none of us identified with theoretical and computational science. So the biggest effort that we are doing with Rene, with Nelly, and with many others is to slowly create a community that identifies with theoretical and computational science. So ideally, we would like the NITheCS associates to give up a little bit of their discipline identity, and add a little bit of a new identity that is just theoretical and computational science, all aspects of it. And in data science, could have been called computer science, could have been called machine learning, could have been called something else. The main theme, and that's where we want people to work together, is to share experience between mathematics, statistics, machine learning, computer science, and so on and so forth. To be able to do more than what each single discipline would have been able to do on its own.
Great, thank you.
But what is important to me, is that these are things that can't happen top down. We need really to get the input of the community that we address to learn what they want us to do. Because you can't impose on people what they have to do. There needs to be a need to do things. That's why the focus areas we issued call. We didn't tell focus area 1, 2, 3. These take it or leave it. We want those things to emerge from what people are interested in. And sure, in time it will settle, and we will develop our own character. And identity. And speaking of identity, we don't have yet a logo, because that's supposed to be decided at the next steering committee meeting. But the moment we will have a logo, maybe it will be easier to identify with NITheCS. Are there further questions? Please just ask. Or if you have suggestions, recommendations, we are operating in this new virtual world of ours, and we try the best, but maybe some of you have suggestions or don't like what we're trying to do and want us to do something else. Please let us know.
Prof. Francisco, can I ask? I see Edwin is here in our audience. Edwin Mapasha.
Okay. Sorry, I was not monitoring.
I was wondering, maybe Edwin, I see you are here also with your student today. Edwin, can you hear me? Because sometimes it's nice just to ask someone, hi, Edwin, sometimes it's nice just to tell others what your experience has been like, you know, the support, you know, then other people can also understand why it's good for them to please apply to become associates, become part of our community.
Okay. No,
Hi,
thank you very much, Renee and Prof. How are you, Prof?
I'm fine, thank you. Hi, good to see you, or good to hear you.
Thank you very much. I've got nothing much to say. Just to say, NITheP has been okay. Sorry, NITheCS for now. Sorry, when I start joining it, it was NITheP. So it has been helpful to us in our group. Basically, let me start by saying I used NITheP when I was doing masters, and then it helped me a lot through funding, tuition, and also for traveling abroad. At this stage now, I'm an associate. So this year, as Prof mentioned, we got funding that helps us to push our research idea. And then on the other hand, also helping my students through funding. My student is here, Kalema. She's using NITheCS for a master's tuition. So that is what I can say, that it is helpful, because as you can see nowadays, the issue of funding is very tight, but at least we thank the institution like NITheCS to come on board and bail us to continue with the research. So I would like to encourage others to apply to be associates so that they can benefit from NITheCS. Thank you very much, Prof. Andre.
No, thank you, Edwin. Thank you very much. That was very kind. Yeah. Are there any other comments?
Costas, would you like to maybe just...
Since the topic came up, I mean, I think one added benefit, at least that I found for my students to be bursars of NITheP versus the old NITheP and probably now NITheCS versus the NRF directly, let's say, was these bursary workshops that you organized, which I think were extremely beneficial, and it really gave them a sense of community and a way to, you know, talk with other students at different universities. So I think that really added value. And I assume you're going to continue doing something like that. Probably this was not possible this year or last year.
No, it was possible last year as well. We did it virtually.
Virtually, yes. But and for me, that was one of the greatest benefits. It's not only the money, it's also that you actually put the students together and make them talk to each other and kind of, you know, comment, criticize whatever each other's talks. So it's a very good experience, I find.
No, thank you, because as I mentioned before, that's the hardest part of our job, that to create this new community, of disciplines that maybe didn't speak too much to each other in the past, and now became family overnight. And that's why we try very hard to invent all possible of virtual ways to meet and exchange ideas. And we will do again the bursary workshop, like we do the associates workshops and so on and so forth. But probably this year it will probably still be online, because I don't want to be responsible for a super spreader event. And in the meantime, you know, we're all used to it, so it's not such a drama anymore.
Prof. Francesco, would you mind if I ask Costas? I just want to check. Costas, wasn't it your student Hector that won the prize at the bursary workshop 1 year? Am I correct? He was your student. Hector Dlamini, wasn't it?
Yes, that's true. I think actually...
Didn't he also go to ICP?
Also Yannick. Yannick also got a bursary prize.
And they went to ICTP in Italy.
Hector went to ICTP
Hector
for
went.
maybe a couple of months. I think he took advantage of that program that you had.
Yeah.
Again, that's something that I'm not sure if other people have sent students through this, but for him, it was a very important stay there. And in Italy, he managed to participate in many conferences, workshops that were going on at the time. And I think it was just an amazing opportunity. And hopefully this new memorandum of understanding you have with ICTP will help these kinds of exchanges happen.
And hopefully it should be easier now, because we can bypass all the NRF bureaucracy, yeah? And it allows us to act more, because in the past I think NRF had a call once a year to go to ICTP, yeah? And sometimes the announcements of workshops or school at ICTP maybe don't come a year in advance, yeah? And now with NITheCS, we can react more quickly. Yeah? Even if a student discovers there is a workshop in 2 months' time and I want to go, maybe we can facilitate it. Yeah. No, thank you, Kostas. That was very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot for the support. I think I am grateful for that for sure.
Good, thank you. Any further questions?
Can I please just quickly ask Felana? I just quickly want to ask Felana, can you hear me? No, that's okay. No, it's okay. Please continue.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, hi.
Hi, Felana.
Yeah.
I just quickly
Hi,
wanted to
Renee.
ask. Hi, Felana. Weren't you a student of Prof. NITheCS, no?
It was in 2000. I started my PhD in October 2015. Yes, until 2019. I was graduated in 2019. Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. No,
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that everybody that's here today is, please, that should be on our mailing list, is not missing out on wonderful opportunities. Like I was mentioning earlier, tomorrow morning, there's a fantastic talk happening. So anybody that might be interested in that, please share that with your colleagues. So if anybody here is not on our mailing list, please be sure to get onto it, please.
Yes, I'm not yet. I think I finished my PhD. I'm a postdoc now, but I'm still on the email list, I think.
Okay.
And will join as a junior associate.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay. Thanks, Felana, because if you're on our mailing list, you would know that, because sorry, but we send a lot of information. We know that we're dealing with clever people that can delete what's not appropriate, but we want to make sure that we share what is valuable to many others.
Good. Abel, please just ask.
Hi, Francesco.
Hi.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. Very interesting. I was also just invited from, I think, Chris as well. I'm from University of Pretoria. I'm in the Center for Environmental Studies.
Okay,
I see you. Yes, I see you've got the Earth and climate modeling there. I think within our department as well, we've got people who are working in that domain.
Excellent.
It would be nice for I mean, most of them have already expressed I think interest through Chris, and then I'll also share with some of them in terms of some of the opportunities I see unfolding here. You also spoke about looking for funding. I guess this initiative is mainly funded from DSI.
Yes.
Are you also having like a vision of looking at other departments, like your environmental affairs, Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, that's a new name, and then agriculture and so forth, so that you can start looking at some interdisciplinary type of research? Yeah.
Yes, no, that's exactly the strategy. This year we will mainly be busy in setting up NITheCS, and trust me, that keeps us busy quite a bit. But the vision is that since we have now 8 disciplines, putting together expertise from the various disciplines, we can really attack the grand challenges. and for the grand challenges, there is also international funding. Yeah, so we can diversify hopefully the sources of income. Yeah, because we cannot be too hopeful that DSI multiplies our budget by a factor of 10. Yeah, in these times where COVID set up, messed up a few budgetary items. Yeah, but in future, I think we are really well positioned to approach maybe even the big international funding agencies. Yeah. And promise that we can make an impact in addressing some of the big questions that are relevant to Africa and the world. Yeah? So that's my hope, yeah, that we'll be able joining forces. But that's why I say again, it's important that we develop a little bit of a community spirit, yeah, because it's still everyone goes on its own. This synergy won't be able to happen. Yeah, we need a little bit of community spirit and approach together the big funding agencies. Yeah. No, thank you. That's a really valid point. Yeah.
No, thanks a lot. I think that would be much more useful and impactful. Thanks for that, Francesco. The other quick one, you also spoke about, you've got the bursary, and then you said most of the people whom you give, or the students you give, bursaries are supervised by the NITheCS, what do you call it? There's a name you're using. Associates. Yes, yes. Do you often get the supervision capacity you need within the associates?
Yes, yeah, we have already almost 150 associates. I'm sure we're gonna and 30 bursary holders. Yeah, so we should always find an ideal associate for a student. Yeah, yeah. And very often in practice, it's the associates that help the students prepare the application for the bursary. So it always goes a little bit hand in hand. Yeah. This year, as I said, we struggled a little bit because of the new NRF rules. And although we tried very hard to spread the information that the students, when they submitted their application on the NRF system, had to indicate our NITheP code, yeah, the UID number. Yeah? But in that process, I think we lost a few potential students. But we are trying now to fish them out of the pool of students that were not supported by NRF. Yeah, and maybe we can then support them directly, or give some money back to NRF and they give it to the student. We will sort it out. Yeah, but we are still hopeful that we will reach our standard numbers still this year. Yeah. Yes, I see another hand raised by Jack. Jack, please, just ask.
Hi, Francesco. Yeah, so thanks for the presentation, and I'm probably your newest associate, I think, at the moment, through our email correspondence. So yeah, I was just going to ask what the sort of support would be for those sort of scientists who are only in one of the two regimes. So, for example, me, I'm a bit of an imposter because I'm definitely an observationalist in my physics area, but we do the heavy computational side, and I saw that you are doing the MOU with SKA, who I work for anyway.
Yeah, no, but that's why.
Yeah, so I was just wondering what the sort of, if people like me apply for bursaries, would those also be sort of highly regarded compared to one that would cover both theoretical and the computational?
We will regard all applications from all associates at exactly the same level. Yeah, as long as the student does something that is theoretical and computational. Yeah, that's the only thing. If the student wants to build an antenna, then it's probably not in our area of responsibility. Yeah, but if the student writes code for machine learning to investigate something, that's just fine. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Thanks.
No, obviously, yeah. yeah, further questions or comments. You know, we are really. I stressed it before. We are in an interim phase, yeah, where we also try to test things to see if they work or if they don't work, yeah. And if you think that we are doing something that doesn't work, just let us know, because we can fix it, yeah. Or if you have suggestions of things that we didn't think about, yeah, we are really open to any kind of discussion. Yeah, we want NITheCS to be useful to the community, yeah. You know, and that's why it's very important to us to get the feedback, yeah, so that we can adjust if we don't do it optimally, or we can change direction if that's where the community wants to go, yeah.
Prof, can I maybe give feedback to Chart Creer? Chart, if you
Yes.
can hear me. Chart, I see you very well, nicely active on social media. That's a very nice compliment, because some scientists find it difficult, you know, to communicate what they do. So I just wanted to give you that compliment. I see a lot of the stuff you do. So well done, Chart.
And please tag us.
And please give us a talk if you want at some point. Chart.
No, and tag us in social media.
Yeah, please.
So that it's easier for us to share it again. Yeah.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be nice. Thank you. And we will do the same if it's something of relevance to you. Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Francesca, thank you.
Any further questions? Because yeah. No, it doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know, Chris, would you like us to wrap up? Because I think
this is a good point to wrap up. I think everybody's
no.
had an opportunity to ask questions, and so yeah, it's a good time to wrap up.
No, and please, if you have if questions come up, you know where to find us. Yeah, we are always
absolutely. No, we thank you very much for the time. Yeah.
And we will be very happy to come back, or if you have other people that want a presentation, just let us know. And in any case, we will send you the link tomorrow to the video. Yeah,
that's fine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Renee, as well, for organizing.
Thank you, Chris, for organizing. Much appreciated. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
It was really very nice. Thank you. And I hope that we will receive lots of applications next week.
Yes, please. Thanks for the time. Keep well, everybody.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you.
Good evening to everyone, and hope to see you at the next NITheCS event. Yeah.
Yes, please, and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Costas. Keep well. Bye-bye, Andrea.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.